I want to go deeper into the government shutdown that could very well be coming to an end later this evening. Joining me now to discuss this is Congressman Kevin Hern. He's the chair of the Republican Policy Committee and a member of the Ways and Means Committee. He represents the 1st Congressional District of Oklahoma. Congressman Hern, thank you for joining us and welcome back to Washington Watch.
Jody, it's always good to be with you.
Well, it's great to have you. I know you've got a lot going on right there. A lot of plates are spinning. Thanks for taking time. I know votes are actually taking place. But walk us through, Congressman Hern, what's it been like the last couple of days? It's got to have been an absolute whirlwind there.
Well, it's certainly been very frustrating to see that on September 19th, the House passed a clean CR. Every single Democrat voted against keeping the government open, with the exception of one, Jared Golden from Maine. And he's now announced he's not running again because the far left pressure on him has been intense for doing the right thing. But again, every single Democrat on September 19th voted against keeping the House open. And now then the Democrats in the House are trying to make excuses of why they're going to vote again to close the government down. Every single Democrat, we expect, will vote against it. They're debating the rule right now. We'll be voting here in about 5 minutes. But on the Senate side, we appreciate the 8 Republican senators who came forward and decided the suffering, leveraging the American people, 42 million SNAP benefit recipients, the air traffic controllers, the military, the federal police officers, and so many others that protect us in this nation. The Democrats have held them hostage. They've used their own comments to say that they're using that for leverage to try to repair the broken Obamacare that they passed in 2010. When they said it would fix all of our health care issues. And now they're saying, well, we need other relief. We need more money. We need $40 billion or more a year. It's just, it's really sad what they've done to the American economy, the American people over the last 42 days.
Yeah, it really is stunning to hear you say that you don't expect any of them to vote to open the government. That's shocking. So what does the rest of the evening look like? What do you anticipate is going to happen?
So they're debating the rule, which sets out the guidelines by what's in the bill, what's going to be voted on. That will happen here in about 5 more minutes, and then we'll debate the actual bill afterwards. It should be finished around 7:30 tonight, 7:30 to 8. I have full confidence, as the speaker mentioned earlier in the opening comments, that we will get this passed. The government will be open back up tonight. All of the things will start unwinding that's been closed down over the last few days, certainly since October 1st. And America will come back to normal. Hopefully we get everything back to normal before Thanksgiving. So it's very sad for the American people. The suffering that's occurred certainly shouldn't have happened. In any other time, it probably wouldn't have. But the Democrats hate President Trump so badly that they were willing to sacrifice the American people for it.
I saw that there's a provision in the Senate bill that would allow Republican lawmakers that were targeted by Jack Smith Arctic frost, which people are becoming more familiar with. But that whole investigation, these folks could receive compensation if they take legal action against the government. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, certainly the American people are going to be very concerned about that. That's why Congressman Austin Scott from Georgia is going to introduce an amendment to that next week that we'll vote on. I'm certain it will pass the Congress that will push back on the Senate for doing that. I understand the frustration from the senators. We actually have one House member, Congressman Mike Kelly from Pennsylvania, that also had his phone records tapped. But it's really kind of interesting that during this whole Biden administration, how they tried to weaponize the DOJ, how they protected Biden's son, Hunter, in his involvement in China and Ukraine and other places around the world. The Democrats love to tout the idea of a corruption in this government. There will be never an administration like the one we saw the last 4 years that had so much corruption from foreign intervention, whether it was the Russiagate from President Trump's first time until what we've seen time and time again, to leading up to what you're referencing, which was called Arctic frost, and the involvement of Jack Smith and Judge Boasberg. Really scary for the American people. I'm sure what we all remember as Watergate pales in comparison to what's happened in the last 10 years.
Wow. Well, I hope we get to the bottom of it all, and there's got to be accountability. I'm sure that's something that you're working on and a topic for another day. I saw today, Congressman Hern, that House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has filed a discharge petition to extend the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare subsidies, so those tax credits. Is there any traction for that, do you think? Is that going to go anywhere?
Well, I'm certain every Democrat will sign on to that. It will take Republican votes. I think it's incumbent upon all of us to remind our Republican colleagues that are not on the committees of jurisdiction like Energy and Commerce and Ways and Means, of which I said, of how much work we're currently doing on the healthcare issue. The reality is that all health insurance costs are going up for everybody. People on private pay, the almost 200 million on private pay, where they're working in a job and getting health insurance, they're going to see rise of 10 to 15 to 20% in the private healthcare industry. But what the Democrats are latching onto is the Affordable Care Act. I mean, it's in its name how unaffordable it really is. I mean, probably the biggest testament toward that last night was Hakeem Jeffries at 10 o'clock last night said in the Rules Committee that healthcare is unaffordable to the American people. Well, it's their plan that they put together in 2010 where they assured the American people. And Speaker Pelosi then said, we're going to pass the bill, and then you can read what's in it. And they assured everybody that healthcare costs would go down. You could keep your doctors, hospitals will be available. And none of that's been true. It's all been a lie.
Wow. All right. So looking ahead, when all the dust settles that currently is floating around, how do you see the next couple of months playing out? What's still ahead?
Well, the House and the Senate will work diligently with the administration to work on reducing the cost, to find ways to the people that are struggling on the most difficult areas of healthcare, those on the lower income scales that are going to make it very difficult to insure or take care of their healthcare costs, that we work on actually having structural changes to the healthcare system, working with the hospitals, working with the pharmaceutical companies, working with the insurance companies to come together. I've had meetings today with two of these groups already. And the president, you saw what he's doing with the pharmaceutical companies and the most favored nation work. He understands, the president understands. He wants his legacy to be one that, first and foremost, he kept taxes low for all Americans. This idea that somehow it's tax cuts for the rich is not true. The tax cuts he gave, additional to the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, were to those blue-collar workers out there. No tax on tips, no tax on overtime. Right. The president wants to make sure that health care can be affordable to all Americans, not just those who are wealthy or in private pay.
Thank you so much, Oklahoma Congressman Kevin Hern. Always great to have you on the program. And thank you for taking time. I know you got a busy night ahead of you. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks, Joe. You take care.